There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Oh, what's up, and welcome into episode number 112 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Ryan Tyson, Matt Gann, Patrick Hertzberg, and Omar Paul this week. Today is Thursday, March 7th. Be sure to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Still trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe to the channel, folks. Cost you $0 to do so. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. Gentlemen, how we living? Looking good. Matt is back from his Cali trip, right, Matt?
Back. I'm back, and Tyson's here as well. I mean, where has this guy been?
Dude, Ryan Tyson's back.
Where has he been?
Hello.
Where's he been, baby? Where's he been, baby? Did the travel?
I went on my honeymoon. It was great.
And we're happy for you. I love
You
it.
look great. You look tan.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you do look
man.
tan.
Bear tan.
No
Check us out on YouTube.
No one tans better than Ryan Tyson. That's for sure.
I got burned a little bit more than I usually do because who knew Thailand was that close to the equator? It really is. So
It's very close. That's true. You can also, folks, I said follow us on all of our social media, but please subscribe to the channel if you're watching us on YouTube. Also, if you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, go ahead, leave us a rating, leave us a 5-star review. We love all that stuff that you do for us, guys. We're gonna try a little something different this week. Okay, we're gonna shake it up a little bit, and not a rapid fire program, guys. We're still gonna take some time here for the people, but we're gonna try to get you out here a little earlier. It's the off season, not as much to kind of break down here, so maybe we'll try to hustle through this a little bit, try to keep your attention a little longer. If I do say so myself. Gentlemen, anything to add before we dive on in here?
No, let's do it, baby.
Okay, perfect. I want to start with
Pat might have something.
Pat, go ahead, brother.
Pat's got some.
I just want to start with this quote.
Oh, okay.
From Brent Venables.
Oh, perfect.
Zach Alley. He's a gym rat. Like what?
Well, I don't know.
Like, we're talking about the defensive coordinator's fitness.
I don't
know. Like
don't
get
know.
Zach Alley in linebacker, I guess. What is this?
Yeah, so that's a good segue from Patrick. On Wednesday, Brent Venables at the podium, as well as 30 freshmen and transfers talking to the media today in Norman, Oklahoma. Spring football begins Monday, March 11th. And we heard the spring game is 4:20. It is a afternoon kickoff, I believe, correct?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. So a lot of OU football news. We heard from Brent Venables. We know when spring practice starts on Monday. We heard from a lot of guys, and we know when the spring football game is. So, guys, I kind of want to dive into it this way. Brent Venables had a ton to say, as he normally does. He's a very long-winded individual. That's why we love him. Anyone who got a chance to kind of, if you didn't watch the whole press conference, no worries. Who has time in the middle of a day to do that? But the tweets were flowing from everybody from George Stoya to Eric Bailey to Bob Prisbillo, all of them. Anything stick out to you guys? Patrick mentioned Zach Alley. And that's a good question, Pat. Is he a gym rat because he works out, or did Brent miscommunicate it and mean like he's always in the office like working or like watching film?
Sure.
I truly don't know.
Could be a metaphor.
Yeah, right.
Or it could be both. I mean, the
both.
dude is younger than half the program guys. So
Dude,
that's
why
He's
I'm
also
thinking about what are we doing, right? I don't know.
what are we doing with our lives is really the question.
It's bad.
Yeah, he's also jacked. Like he just
he's jacked. He's got a weird golf swing. Let's just get out of the way now,
Yeah.
But that's fine. Matt, anything stick out to you?
Looking over it, they ask him a lot of questions. I just caught a few of them that I'm seeing, but he got asked about some of the players. He mentioned Caden Helms being limited at spring, especially with the tight end room the way it is, and obviously 5-star Devon Mitchell coming in. I mean, the tight end room has been completely reconfigured with the transfers coming in, Devon Mitchell, as well as Caden Helms, who we thought would be potentially the guy last year, but looks like he keeps having the injury bug. Talked a lot about just the differences between that group. Also, I know one of the biggest things coming into the season is the helmet communication.
Yep.
And obviously going to have the 2-minute rule. So he had some insights, thinks it's good for the game overall, at least with the helmet communication part of it. So really interesting press conference. If you haven't taken a listen, it's long. And I only got to see part of it, but BV had a lot to say about this team, especially the mentality of the signees that enrolled early, like Jaden Action Jackson and David Stone. Some of these guys coming in and already getting these reps are going to be very crucial because some of these guys are going to be day one contributors for this football team. So it's good to have this mentality.
Two things that stick out to me real quick is Patrick's favorite guy, Jaden Action Jackson, up from 279 to 297 in a very short amount of time.
18 pounds. 18
That's
pounds.
He's gonna be playing nose tackle is what BB said.
That's awesome. That's good to see, especially like guys like that who are young and still obviously have a lot of room to mature into their body and can gain weight like that. That's awesome to see. Also, what I wanted to touch on was this quote. Venables on Jackson Arnold's spring. The growth in Jackson has to happen everywhere. There's no one particular area that needs to improve over the other. You feel good about the type of leader, the type of athlete, and the type of quarterback he's capable of being. To me, obviously, just read between the lines here or read what Brent's telling you. He's not where he needs to be yet, but he easily has the capability to get there. Like he's the guy that they want leading this team. It's just about the growth in year 2 to try to get better. His first year as a starter, really what they're looking for out of him is to just steadily improve this spring and over the summer and form into that guy they need him to be come the first week in September.
Yeah, adding on to that, I got 2 from the press conference. The first one is an add-on to the Jackson Arnold quote, and he basically said, if he's going to be successful, it's because of everybody that's around him. Like he's basically saying, I think I completely agree with you, Mason, where he's putting it out there that don't expect just this unbelievable perfection coming out of here because it's probably not going to be perfect. He's young, he's learning. Everyone deserves that opportunity to do that. He is going to be successful if the people around him are successful. And I think that's a really good read on just the team as a whole and setting the right expectations as a head coach. And then the second one that I wanted to mention was when he was asked if there was anywhere where you need more depth. And he goes, obviously, it's no secret that we need that along the offensive line. So he knows. He's very aware.
He was very aware. He was very clear. He put the onus on Bill Beanball to figure it out. Yeah. He basically said that's Bill's job is to figure it out. And he wasn't shy about it. So I mean that's the guy you want to figure it out. So
again, making sure that he has accountability and his assistant coaches and his specialty coaches, I think is important, but he is aware as the head coach. And I know we talked a lot about this with Zach Alley coming on and him taking more of a head coach role, right? Or a BV taking the head coach role with the defensive coordinator now. This is the kind of stuff that he needs to do. He needs to be on the offensive side more. He needs to know what the problems are. He needs to know what the issues are. So it looks like he's doing that.
Pat, what you got, brother?
Yeah, just back to the first quote Ryan read about the other team members needing to be successful in order for Jackson to be successful. I automatically thought about the offensive line when he said that too. So it's going to be huge this year. And gosh, I really hope Bill figures it out in week 3 versus week 7 or 8.
Yep. Some other news from that press conference. Justin Harrington did get approved for his extra year. He will be eligible for 1 more year at Oklahoma.
That's awesome.
And also a round of applause, guys. Mrs. Venables, cancer-free Mrs. Venables. We love to see it. Very awesome to hear that. That's super exciting. And cancer sucks. And I'm glad she's stronger than cancer. That's awesome. Okay, guys, anything else before we move on to some recruiting news?
I think we hit the high points.
I think we hit the high points, folks. If you want like a deep dive into everything Brent Venables, talked about, I urge you to go watch the press conference in full, or, Eric Bailey from the Tulsa World does a great job at covering that. The guys over at Sooner Scoop do a good job as well. Just we weren't there. So like, we're just getting you what they got, so That's that. Okay, some recruiting news we want to get to. 5-star 2025 offensive tackle Ty Haywood. A couple different crystal balls for that guy from Denton, Texas. Josh McCuistion being one of them, and then Justin Wells, the Texas recruiting insider for On3, both giving a little bit of crystal ball action to that guy. That's a big, big human. I'll run through the others real quick and then we can talk about them all. 4-star 2025 safety Omarion Robinson, 6', 170 out of Little Rock, Arkansas. He's a crystal ball from Josh McCuistion, 50% confidence rating. 2025 edge CJ Nixon from Weatherford High School here in Oklahoma, 6'5", 220. Good size for that guy. Steve Wiltfong, 6, medium rating of confidence for that one. Malik Hawkins, he's 6'1", 180 from Frisco Emerson High School in Texas, 4-star. That's a Rivals future cast, we should say. 2025 defensive tackle Cole Breeler from Princeton, New Jersey. That is a Rivals future cast from Parker Thune as well. So just quickly there, we saw 1 5-star with a lot of confidence from 2 different insiders on both sides of the docket from Texas and Oklahoma, and then a couple different 4-stars. Anything stick out to you, Matt?
Just looking over these guys, the Omarion Robinson guy from they just mentioned, Little Rock. Played special teams as well, even as safety. So it's kind of a dual threat caliber. Was All-American second team his freshman year, scored 4 touchdowns total on defense and special teams. So he's got to be pretty a freak of an athlete to be put in those positions. He also has offers from Arkansas, Auburn, Baylor, Colorado as well. And then CJ Nixon is a homegrown guy in Weatherford, Oklahoma, where it seems like they just keep turning out some guys up there. He plays wide receiver, 6'5", 220. I mean, that's the kind of size that you want. And that's the kind of size that our wide receivers coach has been going after, to have those big bodies like a Jaden Gibson who can just go up there and win those 50-50 balls. You really just have to have a complement of players of either big size or a little bit of both. And I think this guy's definitely got the size, and a guy you want to keep in state. He's also got offers from Auburn, Baylor, Kansas, and Mississippi State. But we always talk about on this podcast specifically, always got to keep the ingrown or the homegrown guys, because you got to keep that network flowing each and every year. The recruiting doesn't stop after one semester or 1 year. You have to continue to recruit these kids, especially in state.
Big facts. Pat?
All those safeties and cornerbacks you just mentioned, defensive backs, are over 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
That's something that we don't always have. And to see us recruiting bigger, faster, stronger like that heading into the SEC is very positive. I'm very happy to see that.
Good God. Thank God the days of Alex Grinch recruiting defensive backs is over. God bless America. I can't.
Good luck to those fine people in Madison, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
We wish you the best.
Yeah. Anything stick out to you, right, Ty?
Not really. Just like going to, I mean, the elephant of this whole thing is this 5-star OT Ty Haywood. We've talked about the offensive line needing help there. This would be huge. I'm going to zag a little bit though and say that we are in March.
Long time.
We have a very long time. And I think we have to be, I'm not going to get too excited about any 5-star until a little bit later, until we have a little bit less runway.
Yep.
So
I feel that. Let us know down below in the comments what you thought about any of that recruiting news. It's time to circle the WaGanns, folks. Matt's got some news for us. So, Matt, go ahead and take it away, brother.
Yeah, got to take a step back. CJ Nixon plays wide receiver, but is actually being recruited as an edge. So, had to throw that in there. But to circle the WaGanns, we got a lot of sports that are currently playing. So let me get you updated. Let's talk about softball first with the other elephant in the room. Currently 18-1. They opened their brand new field, Love Field, which if you guys haven't seen the pictures, seen it all.
Beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. It's an incredible thing that this team needed to have years ago, but glad they finally got the facilities that Patty G and this team deserves, as they just continue to show their utter dominance. So they opened the field in really just OU softball fashion, where they played Miami of Ohio, got a walk-off home run from Kinsey Hansen in the last inning. What's crazy is that the last home run was actually in the last stadium, was by Kinsey Hansen, was in the regionals where they had to beat Clemson to move on to supers. And she was the one that hit the home run off Clemson to advance from there. So really just kind of a cool story that she got a blast off walk-up home run in the last and the first one in the brand new stadium. So they won 9-7. They end up being Liberty, Louisiana, and Liberty again in 3 straight games, all run ruled by the 5th inning. Then they snapped, unfortunately, their 71-game win streak when they played Louisiana Raging Cajuns 7-5 in extra innings. Tyson, tell me why you think that's good for this Oklahoma team.
I think it just relieves a lot of pressure. I think they've always have a target on their back, true, but they had more of a target on their back, and everyone was just waiting for them to slip up. And I'm glad that they lost a game before we got further into the season, and a loss would have mattered more. So I'm okay with this. 71 games, amazing. Like, no one can take that away from them. Absolutely incredible. I'm glad that they lost, and I'm glad that they got that out of the way and they can learn from it. And I'm really glad that they put them at number 2 under Texas. Oh my God. That's one of my favorite things, because that's only going to piss Patty off. So
this whole team. Yeah. And
it's going to piss them off.
Fire. I mean, they're so used to winning, not that they're entitled to do it. They've obviously won 78-1 games, and that comes on the backs of these players, this coaching staff, to continue to have that killer mindset to come into each and every game, knowing that your opponent is going to give you their best shot, to your point, Ryan, to end that streak. And I'm glad it did happen earlier in the year, just like it happened 2 years ago when they lost to Baylor. You're sick of Baylor.
That was last year.
Last year at the beginning of February. It's good to have that early loss to learn, but also didn't really have any major implications. But the pressure's off the back, right? They can start fresh. They're currently playing Texas A&M Commerce. I assume that'll be a run rule game. I think they're already up 3 or 4-0 in the second or third, if someone wants to look that up. But this team will come back. They are too good. The pitching is too good. The hitting, all these players, multiple All-Americans going to be on the list. But I do want to show you their amazing streak that they've had during this 71-game win streak over the past year. So they've outscored their opponents 578 to 72. They've had 40 shutouts, which is over 56% of their games. They've enjoyed wins over 42 different programs, including 46 victories over Power 5 opponents and 28 over ranked teams. And they had 33 run rule wins, which is almost half of them as well. I don't know what more dominance in any other sport that I can think of, or probably would even come close to what has happened for this OU softball team, being three-time national champions.
Current score, 6-0, top of the 3rd.
Yeah, so they just get one more run by the 5th. That'll be a run rule. They are going to continue to play, as I said, playing Texas A&M Commerce tonight. So if you're hearing this will be yesterday. The score will be done, and they'll have a 3-game series against Iowa State this upcoming weekend. Talking about another program with utter dominance, women's gym continues to do that. 23-0, 4-0 in conference play. They recently beat Michigan, Texas women, Penn, and Clemson with a score of 198-3. And talking through how they qualify for the super regionals is all about their net or their national qualifying score. Right now, their national qualifying score is 198.420. That would boast the highest NQS score in NCAA history, and the season is barely halfway over. This team with softball continues their dominance year in and year out as they play Arkansas this weekend. Switching over to hoops, let's talk about men's basketball, who finally got a win.
It's fine.
And they did.
They won. I mean,
they won, but it was ugly.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, very ugly. Their overall 2010 8-9 conference play. They played a little over a week ago against number 2 Houston in Norman, which they should have won. Played well, but should have won the game. They ended up losing 87-85. That's what we would call a good loss for most people, especially when looking at the bracketology. And they end up getting a huge win without their starting point guard, Javon McCollum, who I don't really saw. And I'm not sure if I saw the injury report, but didn't play.
It's like a day-to-day injury is what I heard.
Which could be something to watch out for heading into the last game in the Big 12 tourney. But beat Cincinnati 74-71 in an overtime win, which they had to have, but they had solidified their position to get into the big dance, again, projected as an 8, 9, or a 10 seed. Question to the group, if Potter Moser does not have a good Big 12 tournament or a big dance, do we think he's on the way out, or does he have another year?
Yeah, since he got into the championship, sorry, not the championship. He got into the dance. I think he's good for another year.
I think as long as he's making tournament berths, that's all that's going to matter. Because that's what gauges you as a good program in college basketball, right? Is making the NCAA tournament. So as long as he's making the tournament, I think he's going to stick around. Now, as soon as he misses one, yeah, that's when it's around. Like if he missed this year, I'd say Joe C moves on like immediately. But
but also like, are we giving the basketball program enough resources for a coach who we know is good to get to March Madness every year?
I think we know the answer to that, and the answer is no. But what Joe C is going to argue and what the boosters are going to argue and the donors is that, well, you need to give us a team to be excited about first before we give you money. Because all of OU's previous success came with Lon Kruger. So
yeah. And they kind of had a chance this year when they filled up Lloyd Noble twice when they were highly ranked, and they lost both of those games
at home.
Yeah.
And like that's not showing up. So
no, and it's not. But I agree. Yeah. There's two sides of that coin. Is he getting enough resources and funding? No, I don't think so. I don't think he is at all. But is he performing enough to get those donors and boosters like excited about doing it for him? No, I don't think he is.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. We'll see how this team performs, and hopefully Javon McCollum, who has been essential to this team by scoring points and assists and obviously leading as a point guard, can play in the Big 12 tourney. They will finish up their regular season play in Austin before that happens, so we'll see what seed they get and obviously what they will be in the big dance. But let's go the other direction. Women's basketball, who just continue to perform really lights out this entire season, been so consistent. 20-8, 15-3 to finish the regular season, going in as number 1 seed in the Big 12 tourney in Kansas City. They will get a first round bye, and they will play the winner of Oklahoma State and TCU, who they are 3-0 overall against this past season in Big 12 play. They did announce the Big 12 awards. Skylar Vann wins co-player of the year with Texas Madison Booker. That is the first time that they have announced co-players of the year. That is absolutely nonsense to me. I mean, I get it, but co-players of the year, just pick one. Just pick one.
Yeah, that's
to pick one.
That's dumb.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
But Jenny B wins Big 12 player or Big 12 coach of the year, and Peyton Van Hurst wins newcomer of the year. So that's 3 Sooners. And they had 2 first-team All-Americans, 2 honorable mentions. But Skylar Vann was a unanimous All-American. Let me read you some just ridiculous stats on Skylar Vann, who won back-to-back Big 12 six-player awards in 2023, 2023. She does become the 4th Sooner to win Big 12 Player of the Year. Can anyone name one other OU women's basketball player that's also won that award?
Courtney Parrish?
Courtney Maris is one. Anyone else?
Whitney Hand?
Whitney Hand was my second guess.
It is not Winnie Hand.
Courtney
Paris was twice. Stacey Dales twice. And a girl named Felicia Whaley back in the early 2000s. So you were close. I would have also said.
That's got to be Felicia.
Felicia.
Or Felicia?
It can't be Felicia. There's just no shot. There's just no shot.
Yeah, I'm just trying. It's small text.
All right.
But Skylar Vann, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2.5 assists during the game. She joined Caitlin Clark, Juju Watkins as one of 3 Power 5 players to post this line nationally. This is the every single season that Jenny B has been around, who deserved the Big 12 Coach of the Year for sure and should be for national as well, continues to churn out in each of her first seasons a unanimous first-team All-American. That is something that you want to see from a coach who can develop her players and get these big-time awards. So again, they'll head into the Big 12 tourney before heading to the big dance. So good for OU women's basketball. Men's tennis 8-2 beat Cornell. We'll play San Diego, VCU, and Drake this weekend. Cue Mark for that because he loves Drake. Not here, but that's okay. Women's
So
tennis
does Mason.
5-4.
He can jump in.
Yeah, he could have, but that's
I
okay.
love Drake.
Women's
You
tennis.
didn't say my name, but like, it's fine.
Erasure. Just Mason erasure right there.
Women's tennis 5-4 beat number 5 in NC State and lost to number 3 Texas. We'll play Cincy and West Virginia this weekend. So a lot of good updates, a lot of good things happening for the overall OU program as we start to head into the postseason for some of these teams. That is, circle the WaGanns.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
Love it, brother. Let us know down below in the comments what you think of the OU women's basketball team and their dominant run. Also want to say that it's an absolute joke that OU softball got moved from number 1 in the country after 1 loss. Like, absolutely hysterical.
I think it's great. I love it.
It's great for them. Yeah, it's great for their mentality. I think it's an
Mhm.
absolute joke if you're a voter and you're like, oh yeah, they're not.
And to
the
give it
best
to
team.
Texas.
Yeah,
Love
they're fraudulent. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Whatever. We'll just go rattle off 75 more wins in a row or whatever it was. Don't worry about it. Yeah, let us know down below in the comments what you thought of Circle of WaGanns. Anything stick out to you as well. Okay, boys, PGP MVP of the week time. Let's go ahead and knock it out. Pat, who's your MVP, man?
Yeah, I mean, you already know it's Jaden Action Jackson. I told everyone that he was going to be the most impactful player in his class. I drafted him first in his class, and he is proving me right so far, baby. Maybe not proving me right, but he's on track to maybe prove me right.
Yeah, I mean, hey, 19 pounds or whatever, or 18 pounds that he gained just in a short amount of time since December. That's pretty impressive, man. That's pretty good for him. Matt, who's your MVP, brother?
I'm going to go MVP to the Alabama players. I read an article earlier that Nick Saban said the way players acted after losing to Michigan and the NIL discussions and postseason interviews contributed to his early retirement decision.
Wow.
That is something. Read the article. I think he saw, again, he's obviously been in since the NIL transition.
He was
but
like,
the way
"I'm
college
getting the hell
football
out of here."
is heading, he decided that it was not for him. And again, gives him really good insights on his view, being one, obviously, the premier college football coaches of all time with his dynasty that he created. But hopefully we'll see him as a talking head on a big show because obviously he's good at what he does. But that article is very eye-opening if you really want to know how these college coaches have to deal with NIL every single year moving forward.
I think two things can be true at the same time. I think Nick Saban can rightfully so be upset that these kids on his team are more focused on what they're going to get paid and what the transfer portal brings. But it can also be like, sorry, Nick, times change, and this is where we're at now. So, like, I think both things can be true. I think it can be crappy, but also this is where we're at, so adapt or die, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's just where we're at in college football right now. It's not ideal, but what are you going to do? Ryan, who's your MVP?
My MVP is a little movie called Dune 2. Dune Part 2, technically.
Here we go.
Go see the movie.
No,
it's fantastic. So many memes, a lot of news around it. It's great. Go see it on the biggest screen possible. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you say the Dune 2 movie popcorn? Is that what you said? The MVP?
Get the movie popcorn bucket too.
Get the bucket.
Get the bucket.
The
you
warm,
can do so many things with
the warm mussy.
And if you want to know what they are, there's this hilarious article in the Ringer that talks about like 25 different uses of the worm bucket, and it's not what you think. And it's not what you think, and it's hilarious. It's like a piece of satire. It's great.
Okay, that's pretty good. All right, I'm going LVP. My LVP of the week, Arch Manning, for heroically opting out of being in the new EA college football game. you're the third string quarterback at Texas, bro. Like, well, who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to impress here? Like, it's so weird to me. And all he got was hate. Everyone was like, bro, this is the lamest thing I've ever seen. It's so whack and so stupid. Something that so many people, like 99% of college football, the college football fan base, this is the thing they're most looking forward to besides college football starting back up, is this game coming out and Arch Manning being like, nah, I'm not going to be a part of that. No one's going to be cool with that. Everyone's going to be like, you're lame, you're a loser. And like, I understand he's 18, 19 years old or whatever he is, but like, that's lame, dude. That's whack.
He's hurting his own brand.
I guarantee you he's terrified he's going to come out as a 65 overall, which he will. And I hope they do it.
I just love how he's like, I want to focus on play on the field. And this is a bigger news story than if he decided to just opt in like everybody else.
Like they're gonna come out to a Texas practice and like run you through special EA college football drills to determine your overall rating. That's not what they're doing.
And if you do suck, use it as motivation. Be like, okay, that's a joke.
Dude, the thing that the OU football players did,
it's a video game.
The OU football players did, they asked like a couple players what they thought their overall rating was going to be. And some of them had a lot of fun. Some of them were like, oh, I'm going to be like 75, but like, I'm going to get it up though. Like, watch, I'm going to get it up. Like,
it's a video game. It's like, let's chill about this. Okay. Dude. It's not real life.
And if you're that butthurt about it, guess what? You can change your rating all the time. It's a fake video game. You can make yourself 99 overall at everything. So do that. It's the most lame thing I've seen in a long time.
But also heroic.
Yeah, what a hero.
A hero.
What a hero.
Hero amongst men.
Some real Weenie Hut Jr. vibes.
Dude, for real. For real. Whatever. All right. That's my LVP of the week. Let us know down below in the comments who your MVP or your LVP of the week is. Boys, anything else before we get out of here?
Did Patrick go? I don't know if Patrick went.
I went. I said Jaden Action Jackson.
Yeah,
he went first.
I forget that.
Dude,
I can talk about Dune 2 for like 15 minutes.
No, it's okay.
No,
it's all good.
Right, cool.
It's all good. All
next
right,
time. Next time.
That's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it's called. Sorry, I had a hiccup there. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Leave us a rating, 5 stars, all of that good stuff. We will see you next week, hopefully with all 5 of us here. I can't remember the last time we had a 5-man show. It's been a hot minute.
It's been a bit.
It's been a bit.
We've been busy, having busy lives, you know.
We've been busy, and it's not going to slow down.
It's not going to slow down. We got a couple weddings coming up.
We
got some honeymoons coming up. You know,
we do, man.
We're popular people.
Life happens. Life
does happen.
But guess what? Matt, turn around and show the people. Turn around and show the people. Nothing's bigger than the program, baby. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.